and welcome back to the booth, guys, here at Card Kingdom's Pauper Tournament. So Rob's taking a quick break, so he can rest his vocal cords a little bit. So today, this round, I'm joining the booth with my good friend Hasty Kogan. How you doing?
I'm feeling pretty hasty right now.
Okay. Yeah. No summoning sickness here.
Absolutely not. No, I came into the store and I got right into the booth.
That's right. Attacked. You boothed the first turn you came into play. So here at round 4, we've got another High Tide deck.
Yep.
High Tide is doing very well at tall tables. I think every single table right now at the XOs has a High Tide in it.
Interesting.
I think there's one table I'm not 100% sure of, but I think one of them's playing High Tide.
Okay.
But we've got a High Tide versus Delver matchup this time. This is a matchup I wanted to see, because I feel like this is probably High Tide's worst matchup. Mm-hmm. I know we've had a lot of High Tide on camera, but
it's a good deck, and we want to see, and like if it's going to be at on the high tables at this tournament, we're going to want to have as much exposure.
Yeah, absolutely. We've also a lot of the good players in this area. Charles Wong is playing this High Tide deck, and it's doing very well for him. We saw him kill on turn 2 after getting duressed on turn 1.
That's impressive.
That was pretty disgusting. So Zach is playing Delver, and William is playing High Tide, and I feel like this is one of the worst matchups for High Tide, because Delver is
a disruptive blue deck.
Yes, it's got creatures that are cheap and attack a lot, and it's got spells that are very good at disrupting High Tide's early game plan.
Spell Stutter Sprite.
Turn 1 Delver into turn 2 Cloud of Fairies, untap 2 lands with Spell Stutter Sprite in your hand is very hard for High Tide to beat. Delver will have a huge advantage coming into the board state like that, so we'll have to see if that happens, if William's able to come back, because that's what I want to know.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah, from the High Tide's player perspective, how can they approach this match to not get maximally disrupted?
I think you just need to cast your spells. Like, you just need to get all the spells in your hand out of your hand as fast as possible.
Okay.
Because Delver is a deck that tends to counter every single spell you play. If you're spending mana on it, they're trying to disrupt it because they want to kill you before you can spend X amount of mana in a game.
Sure.
Regardless of what the spells actually do. And that's usually how I try and play Delver decks. There's a lot of spells like in Legacy you can let through that don't matter very much. But it tends to be if your opponent's playing a spell, it means it matters.
Definitely. Looks like Zach took the play here. That's got to be fortunate for him.
Yeah, so I see double Ninja of Deep Hours. I see a Cloud of Fairies.
I thought I saw a counterspell too.
And I see a counterspell. I see a couple lands. I think he only has 2 lands.
Right, no 1-drop, but that's I think certainly fine for him. Yeah, that's the Ice Age counterspell.
Good decision.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these decks in person yet. I'm really looking forward to the choices that people make for their really old commons, see which art they take.
A lot of the High Tides players are playing different arts for all their High Tides.
That's inexcusable. Mm-hmm. What is wrong with it?
I don't know.
All right.
What's wrong with this Preordain, though? This Preordain finds an Ideas Unbound and a Snap.
To join the 2 in his hand already?
Yeah, I believe that's 2 Ideas Unbound. So I think you want to bottom 1 Ideas Unbound, keep that Snap. Yeah. Snap's an important piece of the combo.
I like it in a defensive role as well in this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting rid of a creature.
Yeah.
If you played a High Tide, snapping their guy can be a big deal.
Oh, definitely.
So we're going to see Cloud of Fairies on turn 2 with mana untapped to play another Cloud of Fairies.
Oh, that's pretty powerful.
And Zach now has counterspell mana up in addition to 2 Cloud of Fairies.
Yeah, we're going to see that Ninja of the Deep Hours hit the board next turn.
I assume so. I'm not 100% sure, as it will tap... we'll leave Zach with 1 mana up, so he won't be able to play a counterspell.
Oh, that's true.
So he might opt to do nothing, and then on turn 4, if he hits his 4th land, then Ninja and the Deep Hours have counterspell mana back up.
Gotcha.
We'll have to see.
Here comes a Merchant Scroll, 8th edition Powerhouse. We'll see how Zach feels about that. I don't like countering it here. I think let this one go through, because he has the ability to take advantage of the High Tide players, High Tides, because he's playing only Highlands as well.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so he's going to attack, and he's going to Ninjutsu in a Ninja of the Deep Hours.
I like this play in the event that William tries to go off with with second High Tide. He's got an option here to play a land and pass with counterspell up.
Yes,
but he deploys a Delver.
Potentially could have had counterspell mana up. He only would have 1 land, but High Tide would let that land produce an extra blue.
High Tide from a generous day and age back in Magic's past.
Symmetrical effects for sure. So this Preordain looks like double bottom. Get those cards out of there.
Very quickly.
Draws, I believe, a Gush.
Was that a Gush? I thought it was a Snap. Yeah, it's a Snap.
It's a Snap. You're right. Okay. I take it back.
I forgive you. Do you snap it back?
Mm-hmm. I always wanted a Snapcaster a Snap.
It's very... It's too cute.
Okay. I don't know if it'd be relevant.
Zach misses on his Delver, draws a 4th land. We might see that the second Ninja join the one already on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I would do that. Cloud of Fairies is free to cast, so
He's got 4 mana, so he can afford the 2 mana upfront investment. He might not want to walk into a counterspell from the High Tide player.
High Tide does not play counterspell.
As I said, it made sense.
Oh, you know what? I was looking at the wrong deck. I was like, wait, it's playing 4. It is playing, I think, 1 counterspell, actually.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's a 1 or a 2. It's
difficult to say.
marked over on top a couple times.
We see a snap coming out of the High Tide player.
I imagine that's on the ninja.
I imagine you're right as well.
Oh, and so he's going to ninjutsu on the ninja the D-powers. What's really disgusting here is he can ninjutsu the other ninja the D-powers in on the other Cloud of Fairies.
I
don't think he's going to choose to do
It's
that.
ambitious. I wouldn't like it. That's actually an interesting... for those of you who end up playing this format on paper, you can't activate ninjutsu until the defending player has said no blocks, because ninjutsu requires a creature to be attacking and unblocked.
Yes.
So I imagine William has not experienced, like having played through Betrayers myself. This is something I experienced a bunch. So if you're playing into ninjas, you must say in declare
blocks.
attackers before blocks. Try to bounce your guy.
I always tend to say before blocks. It makes it a little bit less confusing. A lot of people don't understand when the priority is passed in a step. Whenever I'm saying during your draw step, and they say before or after I draw, it's like, well, it has to be after.
By default,
Yes. I do not get priority before you draw the draw step.
Yeah, back in the day, you could stifle
Yes.
the draw step.
It was a triggered ability.
Which is very
And
interesting.
then they printed Stifle, and then they realized that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, that's probably... yeah, stifle the... I got nothing here. So you see ideas. Stifle actually be pretty good into this ideas inbound as well. You get to counter the delayed trigger.
At the end of turn, discard 3 cards.
But as you know, Stifles are rare and therefore too expensive.
Yeah, is there
Not
any
for us.
common Stifle effects? Is Squelch common? I think it might be uncommon.
Yeah, I believe it's only an uncommon. Void Mage Husher, I believe, counters either actives or triggers. But in either case, they're both uncommons. So what I think I'm seeing in William's hand are a couple High Tides that are going to hit the graveyard. Because these appear to be the book promo. But it's hard. This one's hard for me to see. I've never actually seen a High Tide promo High Tide in
Makes
battle.
sense.
Oh no, those are Archaeo Mixers. I'm an idiot. What am I doing?
Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, big as fish.
So yeah, William's trying to figure out what he should be pitching to the Ideas Unbound trigger
Yeah.
at the end of turn.
Yeah, he's looking for a 4th land drop there, but
Did not hit it.
no.
He really hopes he draws a land next turn. I think he's going to be able to try and combo off next turn. But we'll have to see if he's able to win. He's got to finish this game quick, though, because
Zach's about to bury him.
yeah, if this Delver flips, it's a huge swing. So right now he's got 5 damage on the board, and then the ninjutsu in his hand is potentially like 6 damage.
Right.
So
Drop him down to 7, and then he's got 1 turn left.
yeah,
So we see William on a 2-turn clock, really looking for something to do. He's got to be constantly mindful of the fact that High Tide duplicates his opponent's mana as well.
yes, and that is a very big deal. So here we go. Before blocks, I would like to ninjutsu in the Cloud Fairies.
I would like to do that as well.
So there's 6 damage coming in.
Zach's going to get to see an additional 2 cards after this combat.
He's also got a Ponder in his hand and
Yeah.
a land. So he's going to be able to Ponder, see another 3 cards, and then have counterspell mana in addition.
Access to 5, yeah. He finds a Spell Stutter Sprite. Spell Stutter Sprite, Counterspell, maybe even that.
I believe the deck has Dispel,
Which spell?
Death Spell. He's got Vapor Snag, he's got Logic Knot. I'm a fan of Logic Knot.
Same, yeah. It's not exceptionally strong here.
No. It's not bad, though. There's only a couple cards in his graveyard, so...
Yeah, the Ponder's going to join it. He takes a very quick shuffle.
He knows what he's looking for in its interaction. So
Yeah.
everything else is a pass.
Yeah, that's quick heuristic there.
Yeah, this is pretty much the last turn that matters, so...
Zach playing on auto. Well, not exactly.
He draws another Snap, so...
That's pretty interesting. If he has a Spell Stutter, then he gets to do something with that. But,
Yeah, what he can also do is, if William attempts to play a Cloud of Fairies and then snap it, he can snap. Zach can snap Williams' Cloud of Fairies in response, fizzle Williams' snap, and also not give him the mana required to recast that Cloud of Fairies again, get more on
he'll
top.
have to have tapped out in order to be short that mana to redeploy his Cloud of Fairies.
Okay, so we've got a Seagate Oracle there, and it's going to see 2 lands for William, which, that's what he wanted, but that's what he wanted last turn.
Yeah, exactly.
If he had drawn a land that last turn and then a land this turn, he'd be in very good shape.
Yeah.
We're going to see an end-step snap on that Seagate Oracle, and I believe this is lethal, right? This is exactly 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even if Delva doesn't flip, this is 7 damage.
Yeah. Zach, William going to fish for maybe a little more information.
Makes sense. I mean, if you're Zach, you just go to the combat step in the game.
There's an argument for defending against snapback, which is
oh, yeah.
which is not I don't. Well, I can't really say. My intuition is that it doesn't have a ton of strength in the format, but gives you an additional way to leverage your an upper counterspell from early in the game into some mana with that Cloud of Fairies.
Yeah. Turn a daze into a bounce your Cloud of Fairies effect.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That makes sense. So yeah, we're getting set up for game 2 here. And
see Zach taking that first match. Head on over to the sideboard. What do we see on William's side? He's got because he's got a Wormfang Drake, which is the only card. Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's a 3-mana 3/4 from Judgment. It's a nightmare creature, just like Faceless Butcher or Slither.
Exile a creature when it comes into play?
Well, exactly. So the Faceless Butcher, you get to exile your opponent's creature, and then if your creature leaves, then they get it back. But Wormfang Drake is you have to hide your creature under it, and when it leaves play, you get the creature back.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes. A slightly clunkier way to reset your Cloud of Fairies, your Arcane Minister. Defend against like a sweeper, I'm not sure.
Does it have a way to blink? Or
no, it's just a 3-mana 3/4 that hides your own creature.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty risky in this matchup is if they bounce or remove the 3/4 in response to the triggered ability. The enters play trigger.
It's not a May, right? You have to exile another creature?
Yeah.
Or sacrifice it? Or how's it work?
It could be sacrificed unless you exile it.
Okay.
Sacrifice.
I'm never really sure on the exact wording of these cards.
Yeah.
What else has he got over there?
It's got a counterspell, got a what looks like 1 or 2 Mystic Remoras.
I think that's a 1, and then that's a 2 Flash Flood.
Flash Flood.
Yes.
Not good here.
Not great here.
Yeah, he's got access to 2 Giga Drowse, which I like.
I like Giga Drowse. I like Dispel as well.
Yeah.
Protects your combo just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Zach, on the other hand, he's got not very much. He's got a Piracy Charm, he's got some Vapor Snags, and he's got Dispel. Those are pretty much the only cards that you could potentially bring in here.
You don't like Stormbound Geist in this matchup?
I don't think you want it in this matchup. You want that against Mono Black Control.
3-mana 2/2 pretty slow.
Yeah. You want it against Mono Black Control, because then when they hit you with a Sacrifice effect, you turn the 2/2 into a 3/3.
Got a 3/3, is this one good?
Alright.
I like it.
Huge tempo swing as well, because you get a creature out of their removal spell, which normally doesn't happen. And that's really a very powerful way to beat the Mono Black Control.
You need to break the synergy, or break the symmetry.
Yeah, so Zach won game 1 with his Delver deck over this High Tide deck. He was on the play, and that might have had an impact. It might not. You never really know, but you can kind of guess, extrapolate from the way the hands played out.
Yeah, William missing a land drop, ended up being super important in that one, where he was looking for, he even spent one of his ideas Unbound trying to find any land so he could play. It didn't matter that he had a 4/3 himself.
Yeah. Usually, I tend not to look at that card as card disadvantage, just because when you're seeing that many cards and you're looting that many cards, that's kind of worth the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
How many loots do you need to get off Merfolk Looter before you decide that it's equivalent card advantage?
Oh, you can loot with that? I only attack with Merfolk Looter.
Okay, yeah.
2-mana 1/1. That's my speed.
Yeah, that's about the size that combat should be in. You pay 1 mana for each stat of a card.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. William trying to turn his poor fortune into good karma, creating a smiley face. What's he looking for in this opening hand, you think?
So I think you just want a lot. You want a couple lands, and you want a ton of preordained thunder effects. The main piece you're looking for is High Tide plus Cloud of Fairies, and that's kind of the basis. And then the rest of the deck is built to kind of abuse that interaction. Cards like, what is it, Flickering something? Flickering Gust?
Yeah, Ghostly Flicker.
Ghostly Flicker, there we go.
He's got access to a couple boomerangs. He's got that repeal, which is pretty clever. Pretty quick mulligan for him. Unfortunately, there didn't see any lands.
Yeah, 0
but he
lands.
did. I think I saw that his Wormfang Drake in that in there. Wormfang Drake is
got flying, right?
It's a 3-mana 3/4 flying. It's super risky though. Zach's likely to board out some of his bounce, but we saw that he had access to 4 snaps. You gotta assume that the mono blue Cloud of Fairies deck going to be playing at least some number of snaps.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely playing 4, so. And I don't think that's a card you're going to
the 6 for William is grudgingly acceptable. Looks like we see a Narcolepsy, I think.
Yeah, I like Narcolepsy. This is definitely one of the more clunky matchups to have Narcolepsy against snap decks. They can just bounce their own guy that you Narcolepsied. And
right. Oh, no, that's Ghostly Flicker. I'll get this figured out by next round.
It's okay. Not a huge deal.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We'll still allow it.
Oh, we see the Invasion Exclude in Zach's hand.
I'm a huge fan of that card.
Same.
Very powerful. Drawing cards on spells that do things at cost effectiveness is pretty good.
Yeah. Remove Soul, pretty reasonable card. Tack an extra mana on, make it a cantrip.
That's Exclude, right? Repulse is the boomerang that draws a card?
Correct. No, it's the Unsummon.
Yeah. Unsummon.
Zach taking a shuffle on that ponder. He's got to be looking for a creature to play on the next turn.
Well, there's a Delver, so there's a creature for sure.
That counts. Yeah, William looking for his second land.
That's what it looks like. So he's going to start off with the Preordain here. That's going to get him a little bit deeper into his deck. He finds a land and a snap. Looks like snap on the bottom, land to hand.
Rigorous play, yeah. You really want to keep that snap against an aggressive deck. You get to buy yourself time. But he makes reasonable play trying to find a third land, get the game going a little bit longer. I think coming about turn 7 or 8, I like the High Tide deck in this matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely the control deck.
Yeah.
Of these two. Delver is the aggro deck. Delver automatically audibles to the aggro deck, so the other deck has to figure out where it belongs. Yeah, and misappropriation of roles is a really big deal, especially because a lot of people playing this format don't have a lot of experience in this format, and if you misappropriate your roles, it can punish you really hard.
Zach runs out of Instep, Spell Stutter Sprite. Williams now got to be afraid of Snap into recasting the Spell Stutter.
He actually has another Spell Stutter in his hand as well.
Oh, that's
which is pretty scary.
Absolutely.
This also is nice because it applies a clock. You really need some amount of damage just to finish the game. And so I think Zach's just going to double bottom these. He's looking for a land.
He's got a Gush in his hand.
Yes, he was feeling a little ambitious in playing the Spirit Aim because he doesn't have a land in hand, and he really wants to make sure he can play a Spell Source Sprite.
Sure.
He actually draws a Dispel, though, which is perfect.
Yeah.
He whiffs on land, but does draw a spell he can cast this turn if William attempts to go off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you think there's an argument for float a blue, cast the Gush, and then he's got that Delver. He can play this Delver, cast the Gush, replay his one of his islands, have Dispel mana up, and then he's got more damage on the board, increase the clock, I said.
Oh, we're gonna see a Dispel on that Gush.
No. That's actually fine. Zach just wanted to reset his islands.
Drawing lands is a plus, or drawing cards is a plus, but definitely there to make sure he gets his land drop.
Yeah, I think Zach has all the tools he needs in order to get this game underway.
Yeah, so there's Merchant Scroll, which is a sorcery, but it finds an instant. So the card he finds can get dispelled, but you can't dispel Merchant Scroll. It's going to find a High Tide, of course.
What you expect.
Mm-hmm. And William does not have a third land to play here, so he's just going to pass the turn back. Delver does not flip. That is an island, though. That's exactly what Zach's looking for. And he actually decides to play the land that he drew that turn rather than one of the lands that he had in play.
Interesting, okay.
Oh, never mind. You know what? That's the same art. I thought that was the new...
Oh, the new BFZ art.
The new BFZ art that has the hole in the middle of the island.
Oh. It's not the cups.
Not the cup. The reverse cup.
Oh, yes. The hidden reverse cup.
We'll see the card and I'll be like, that's the one that I'm thinking of. It's the one that's all flat and then there's a hole in the middle, like a waterfall going into it.
I'm sure I can pick it up out of the lineup, but
I'm sure if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Here comes a Preordain for Zach, gonna flip that Delver of Secrets. William sitting back with looks to be 2 Archaeomancers and a Cloud of Fairies.
He's still on those 2 lands though, and that's really the problem here. He's getting choked on his mana.
Yeah, he may want to cycle this Cloud of Fairies in the end step. He's got the option to.
I don't think you want to cycle Cloud of Fairies. That's a very key part of the combo.
Sure, but it doesn't matter if you make the combo going or not. He needs to fight. He needs lands, otherwise he can't play.
Yeah, that's very true. But I feel like if he finds the lands and doesn't find a Cloud of Fairies, he's going to feel very bad about it.
I suppose you're right, but okay.
I think I would much rather use a Snap to blink a Delver of Secrets right now than I would like to use a Cloud of Fairies to cycle, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You've got to watch out, though, because Zach does have Dispel in his hand, and he's also got a...
second Spell Stutter, he's got an Exclude. Zach's sitting back with looking pretty in this game.
Yeah, so we're going to see an Ideas Unbound here for William. He's mainly just digging for lands, and Zach has to think of this and say, okay, you're playing this, you've missed 2 land drops in a row, I should counter this, but it looks like he elects to let it resolve. He's got a Spell Stutter Sprite, I would have jammed that there.
I'm the same. It doesn't speed the clock up by very much, but if you ever draws that Bone Splitter, then it's going to increase the pace there. Maybe Zach is now just going to take advantage of Williams' kind of restrained development by, I thought maybe he's just going to counter every High Tide that he plays, and Williams not going to be able to fight through Zach's grip full of counterspells in order to get anything done.
Mm-hmm. I'm really surprised that Zach elected to counter the Preordain, but not the Days Land. I thought not the Ideas Unbound.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. So that's a consistent game plan this game. You let Ideas Unbound resolves, let them do whatever they want, and then as soon as they play High Tide, you just fight them as hard as you can.
Yeah, let them cantrip as much as they want, but don't let them actually play any of the mana ramp.
Oh, Zach's reading Wormfang Drake.
Oh,
what a treat.
It's a big scary monster. It is a 3/4 flyer, so it is able to trade with or eat everything in Delver.
Right.
The only thing it actually doesn't kill is Spire Golem.
Oh yeah, at 2/4.
but you would be able to bounce off, so it's not a huge deal there.
Yeah.
Not a huge loss.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume Zach took out at least some of his bounce spells.
He does have that repulse.
Yeah, no, it's exclude.
Exclude. Okay. Wait, so that is exclude? Okay.
Yeah, he has.
I get the arts mixed up.
Reasonable.
Exclude is the counter spell. Repulse is the
Is the
unsummon.
boomer? Is the unsummon? That's right. Yeah.
Besides that, both of them draw a card for 3 mana. So
Oh, William's got access to his Giga Drowse now. Okay.
it's a very powerful card in this matchup. You can do a lot of things with it.
At the very least, it's just fog that they're gonna have a really hard time countering.
Yeah, one of the cool things you can do with it too is you can actually Giga Drowse their lands if you've had some High Tides going, and then move to your second main phase so that they lose all the mana in their pool,
Yeah.
and then combo off there while they're tapped out. It's an option you can make with the card. You can also blank a lot of attacks.
Yeah, it's both fog and mana short. Two cards that I definitely like against the creature control, the aggro control deck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's versatile.
Yeah, Baby Crypt Command.
The common cryptic.
Yes.
The Pauper's cryptic. How's that sound?
Ah, there it is. Found it. This combat brings William down to 8. He's got 2 turns left to get anything done. We saw that he has at least 1 High Tide. He's got access to that Giga Drowse, so it's actually going to buy him another turn. Zach, pretty sure played a land this turn already.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
Yeah.
So he's just going to pass the turn.
Yeah.
I think when you have 4 mana, you get some options because there's a lot of 2s in this deck.
Yeah.
And you want to leave counter spell up. So you can play a 2 and have counter spell up, but
Yeah.
you can't do that with 3 lands. So William hits land number 4, finally. I think we're on turn 8.
Yeah,
Turn 7, maybe?
something like that. It has been some time.
We're now in turn 7. There's the Bowl Island. That's my favorite island. It's
Yep.
my favorite land, actually.
I like this one that Zach just played.
The floater?
Yeah, well, the color scheme is good. It's not overpowering. It's pretty chill. It's got some points in it.
Do you like geometric angles?
I'm a fan. As a math expert, I do like geometry.
Okay.
Pointy angles certainly count.
So we got a Ninja of the Deep Hours here bouncing a spell starter sprite.
Oh,
So let me tell you,
That is gotta feel bad for William.
that is a lot of value.
Speeds up the clock as well.
Yeah,
Well,
damage.
yeah.
A whole one damage.
Yeah,
It actually
well, it still
allows.
counts.
Yeah. It means that Zach is much more likely to have lethal next turn.
Yeah. He can. Oh, well, here comes that.
Oh, Giga Drowse your lands. Here it comes.
Yeah.
It's really,
That's
yeah,
that's unfortunate.
yeah. It's really awkward because there's no real good way to counter that.
Yeah, he can play a spell stutter to counter
The one that's
targeting
targeting
the third island.
Yes.
And then he has Dispel up, and that's like fine.
I guess.
Super awkward.
Yeah, it's committing when you don't really want to be committing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. I mean, I can't think of a better line in this situation, unless you want to Logic Knot it, but that's also terrible. So,
Looks like he's gonna go ahead and do this.
compelling argument, I think.
He does get to lead up to spell, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Is Spell Pierce a common?
It is. But
I don't
it's,
think I've seen a lot of those placements.
it's not great against High Tide for obvious reasons.
They usually have the mana. However, it is nice if they start the turn off with High Tide, and then you dispel it, because then they will have to tap an extra 2 lands without the High Tide ramp.
Right.
But I have seen someone go in response High Tide, float mana, pay for it, let the other one resolve.
Yeah, definitely good. Yeah, another option Zach has is to. Oh, okay. See an Ideas Unbound here.
Looks like William was not trying to combo off his turn. He's just going to fire off an Ideas Unbound. I feel like you have to start the turn out with High Tide this turn.
I agree. Even if he puts Zach on having a Dispel, I'm not sure what else you can do about it. You have this High Tide, you're gonna Zach's gonna cast it.
Yeah, it's really awkward here, because even if he has another High Tide, he can't play it and then cast it.
Yeah,
I guess he got a land.
He's at 2, but he's just gonna play Cloud of Fairies. He's gonna snap the Delver and then die anyway, I guess. I'm not.
like it.
I'm not seeing how William's gonna get weasel his way out of this one.
That's certainly how I see this turn going from Zach.
6 islands, the all-out attack.
And what's awkward is, I assume this snap is also not going to resolve.
I mean, yeah,
There's a spell starter sprite. That's not going to let her
the
resolve.
third spell starter.
And William's going to go ahead and pick up his cards.
All right, yeah. Easy Zach taking that match 2-0. It ended up playing out almost exactly the way you said. Going to get an early aggressive start from the Delver player, follow that up with some counter spells, some draw spells, and the High Tide player never really has a chance to set up their whole combo.
Yeah, High Tide managed to not ever have a turn where Zach was tapped out. The Giga Drowse was trying to set that up, but
Yeah.
Dispel was able to still be bluffed, and he actually had Dispel, so he got to punish as well. So yeah, Delver is, I think, definitely favored in that matchup, and it's probably the bane of the High Tide decks. So
like
looking
you're
at the looking at the higher tables where all the High Tide decks are, if there's a lot of Delver there, I could see this top 8 being very different than if there's not a lot of Delver there.
Yeah, it's
This-
Delver poised well to take advantage of the top tables.
Yes, I think it's a very good selection to play Delver. I also feel like Delver's probably one of the best decks in this format.
I mean, it's a good legacy.
Yeah, it's a 3/2 for 1 mana, which is pretty much the best price point you'll be able to get for a creature at common. I mean, it's the price point you get for a creature at almost any single rarity.
You got Wild Nacatl.
Tarmogoyf is like next best, and that's 2 mana, which is a lot more than 1 mana.
Yeah, like a 2 mana 4/4. Like maybe you could count like Hooting Mandrills in
Yeah.
case that deck is that
Dormeg
popular.
Angler.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
Big.
But that's a 3 mana 5/5. Like if you're very lucky,
Yeah.
you have to go Mental Note into Thought Scour into. Okay, that's actually not that hard.
It's not. It's
So
not
you can do that.
most
You can do that on turn 2.
Yep.
That's
you can
pretty
play
good.
Tasker on turn 2 very reliably in Modern. Fetchland, Thought Scour.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
It's Tasker.
That is
So yeah, we just finished up one match here at round 4. We're gonna go down for just a second, find another match, bring it to you live here at Card Kingdom for their Rags to Riches Pauper tournament. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.